Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to do root mean square value of alternating current. In the last class we had done the average or the mean value. Today we are going to do root mean square value of alternating current. Now root mean square, you have to have a look at all the words carefully. Root, okay, mean square means square root of the mean of all the square values of current, because you know the current in an alternating current does not have a fixed value, it keeps on changing periodically. So you have to take the value of current at every instant of time, take the square of it, find the mean of it and then find the square root of it. That will be giving you the root mean square value of alternating current. Okay, so it is nothing but the average value. If I just put a bar here, you have to understand that it is the average value of the square of the current taken root. Okay, so to find the root mean square value of alternating current, you have to first find the mean of the square currents, of the square of the currents at every instant of time, okay, and take the root of it. Okay, now this will be a very lengthy task. So what we are going to do is define this root mean square value of alternating current in terms of heat generated. Okay, this is how it is defined. Root mean square value of alternating current is defined as that value of steady current which would generate the same amount of heat in a given resistance in a given time as is done by the AC when passed through the same resistance for the same time. So you are going to pass current for an AC source. Okay, now that AC source will be generating some amount of heat, okay, and the other circuit will be having a DC source, that is a steady value of current, and that current has to generate the same amount of heat. So in order to generate the same amount of heat as is done by the AC, that the amount of steady current that would generate the same amount of heat in the first case, that value of current is defined as RMS value. So this will be helping you to deduce the relation. Okay, so from the definition we are now going to deduce an expression for RMS value of alternating current. Okay, and one thing to be noted here is that RMS value is also called effective or virtual value of alternating current. You have to keep this in mind when you solve the numerical problems. Okay, so let us start the derivation. Let an alternating current be represented by I is equal to I naught sine omega t. Okay, where omega is the angular frequency, t is the instant of time where you are finding the value of I, and I naught is the peak value of current. Okay, let this equation be equation number 1. Then we have as we were defining, we had taken a circuit containing a resistance and some heat will be generated in the resistance. Let the resistance be R. Okay, and in a small time dt, the amount of heat produced in R is given by, so if you take a small interval of time dt, okay, some amount of heat will be produced, and you know from Joule's law H is equal to I square RT, but since we have taken a small interval of time, we also the heat generated will also be a very small value. So dH will be equal to I square R dt. Okay, this is the formula for heat generated in a very small interval of time dt. Now this RMS value of AC has to be calculated for one full cycle. So for time interval in one cycle, that is time will be starting from 0 to 1 time period, that is equal to capital T. Okay, so in one cycle of this alternating current, the amount of heat generated will be equal to, you have to integrate this dH from the time interval 0 to capital T. Okay, now you can replace the value of dH from this equation. Integration 0 to T I square R dt. This is the amount of heat generated in an AC in the time interval 0 to capital T. Now this I can be replaced by equation 1 because I is nothing but I naught sine omega t whole square of it into R dt. So this is the amount of heat generated in time interval 0 to t. Let's proceed to integrate now. On integration, or before integration, we can simplify it because we cannot integrate a square term in trigonometric function of the square of a trigonometric function. So we are going to simplify it. 0 to t I naught square sine square omega t into R dt. Now this has to be written in a term which has got power 1. Okay. Now sine square omega t can be written as, you have to know this from your trigonometric relation, 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. It comes from the relation sine square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta by 2. Okay, that we are going to replace it here and we can take the constants out. I naught is a constant taken out of the integration sign. R is a constant. 0 to t integration sine square omega t can be written as, this 2 also can come out, 1 minus cos 2 omega t dt. Now we can use distributive law, I naught square r by 2 integration 0 to t into 1 dt minus integration 0 to t cos 2 omega t dt. Now one by one we can use the integration formula to find the integral value and then put the limits. So I naught square r by 2 integration dt is t, okay, within the limits 0 to t minus integration cos 2 omega t is nothing but sine 2 omega t divided by 2 omega and the limits of which are 0 to capital T. Okay. Next we are going to put the limits of integration, that is 0 to t, that is t minus 0 here, minus 1 by 2 omega can come out, sine 2 omega capital T minus sine 0. Alright. Now in the next step we will just simplify. After putting the limits we will get the heat generated in the time interval 0 to 2 is equal to I naught square r by 2, t minus 0 is t, minus sine 2 into 2 pi, because omega t is equal to 2 pi as we have done in the last class, divided by 2 omega here. Okay. Now sine 4 pi, that means even multiple of pi, sine of that will be equal to 0. So heat produced by that alternating current in time interval 0 to t is equal to I square r divided by 2. This is the heat generated by the alternating current in time interval 0 to capital T. Now we need to compare it with the heat generated by a steady current in the same time interval in the same resistance. That is the definition, isn't it? So if IV, that is the RMS value, that is equal to the current related to the DC source, is generating some amount of heat, that means the same amount of heat we can write the next equation as H is equal to I square R T, because the time interval is the one cycle, that is equal to capital T. Now this is the heat generated by the AC, which has to be equal to the heat generated by the steady value of current, that is equal to IV. With the help of these two, we are just going to find out the value of IV. So comparing this and this, we get IV square RT is equal to, okay, of course we have one T here, T is left out, is equal to I naught square RT divided by 2, or we can just cancel this. So IV square will be equal to I naught square by 2, or the RMS value or the virtual value of current is equal to I naught divided by root 2, and as we know 1 by root 2 is equal to 0.707. So IV comes down to be 0.707 I naught. That means virtual value of current or RMS value of alternating current is 70.7% of the peak value of alternating current. So this is the final expression if the equation given to you is I is equal to I naught sine omega t. The virtual value of current or the RMS value of current will be 70.7% of the peak value of alternating current. Likewise, let us quickly find out the RMS value of alternating EMF. The final expression will be the same, okay, but the deduction is slightly different because it is the value of EMF which has to be related with the value of current. So let us have an alternating EMF represented by E is equal to E naught sine omega t. Okay. Now amount of heat produced in a small time interval dt is given by dH, that is equal to E square by R dt. That is a formula for heat or energy related to the EMF, isn't it? That is E square into time divided by the resistance. Okay. Now instead of this E, we can write E naught square sine square omega t divided by R dt. Okay. Then we can follow the same process to integrate to find out h by integrating dh from 0 to t, that is integration E naught square sine square omega t by R dt. Again replacing sine square omega t by 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2 and putting the limits. Finally we will get h is equal to E naught square by 2R into T. Okay. Now this is the amount of heat generated by the alternating current, okay, in a circuit containing a resistance equal to R. Now we take another current which will be supplying a steady value of current which will be generating the same amount of heat, okay, and let the virtual value that is generating this amount of heat be EV, okay, square by R into the time interval that we are taking, that is one full cycle. In the case of AC, for the DC also you have to take the same cycle. Now you need to compare these two, that is EV square by R T is equal to E naught square by 2R into T, okay. We can cancel, R can be cancelled. So finally we will be arriving at the same similar expression. EV will be equal to E naught by root 2. That means EV is equal to 1 by root 2 times E naught. That is EV is 70.7% of the peak value of alternating current. Okay. So that is how you find out the expression for root mean square value of alternating current and alternating EMF. Okay. Now I have given you one sample problem in the PDF file. Now you can easily solve it on your own. Thank you for your attention.